Hi everybody, this is Harmony and welcome to my channel, Harmony Stitches. Here we talk about my crafting journey, which usually revolves around cross stitch with some knitting and crochet. Mostly cross stitch, some knitting, and hardly ever any crochet. This month, if you remember from my last video, I decided to use the spinning wheel on my phone and whatever came up to do 500 stitches and then move on to the next and do 500 stitches and continue that throughout the month. And also including my 2 Whip Go pieces that are drawn as well. So since the last video, I have continued to work. I think I have 7 or 8 projects here that I have to talk to you about. Sometimes if I'm tired, I don't get very much stitching in, and I think you can relate with me there. So there should have been, in the last 12 days, there really should have been 12 projects here, or if some of them got called multiple times, but I didn't get as much stitching in some of the days that I would have liked. So let me go ahead and show you the 7 projects. I am going to try to talk a little bit more quickly because I think I'm going to have some tech issues. Because it's the way of life for me over here. I can't seem to get rid of those issues no matter what I do. So let's get started. These are in no particular order. They're just how I threw them in my bag and then got them out. This one is the Super Mario Brothers 3 map that I was doing. This is World 1, which is the grassy lands. I just finished my 500 stitches this morning because I almost forgot about it, to be honest. But I had like 170 stitches to go, so I'm like, let's whip this out real quick before I do my video. So here is my progress. I am at 24.2%, which just about 1/4 of the way. This particular go round, I decided that I wanted to finish all of the sand in here, see where I got to once I got that part done. And then I did have some extra stitches, so I went down here to finish. And now I have all of the sand done on page, well, this isn't page 1, but it's the last page. Actually, I only have a little bit left on this page. There's some stitches in the castle that are not done because I don't seem to have that color and I keep forgetting to buy it. And then in the coin, there's 2 stitches of white. So that's all I have to do, and that one page will be completely finished. So I'm super excited about the progress on that. And considering I was able to stitch last time outside of the page, that's how I ended up getting 24.2% instead of, you know, just have it. Because the bottom 2 pages, or is it 3 pages? I think it's 3. There's 6 pages, 3 full pages at the top and 3 partial pages at the bottom. So even though that was a partial page, I was able to get myself up to 1/4 or 25% almost. Okay, so another one that was called was Stars and Stripes by this Prairie Schooler. I got the presidents done, and I thought that, I can't see it. I thought that I had the whale done, so I just skipped over and started working on the ship right away. Come to find out I was not done with the whale, but it's okay. So I'll show you my progress so far. Let's flip this around. I have my thread inside here, so it's not cooperating with me. Okay, so here is where we are. I started on the border, so I had a reference point, and then I started on the ship. To be honest, I did not count the first day I stitched on it, I got 241 stitches. The second day, I did not count it necessarily because I knew that the first 2 rows of water were 40 stitches, so I knew that I was going to have enough stitches done. Plus, I did pop over here and put in the flagpole and the tassel-y things off of the flag. So I just know that I have enough. I didn't have to sit there and specifically count. There's a needle here, so I'm going to take this off. I don't like to leave my needles in because I use them over and over. Okay, I am using the called for DMC with this one, and it's 28 count Ivory Monaco. The Mario map is an 18 count off-white Ada that I had found in my stash. Okay, this one I know that you have not seen in a long time. The last couple of times it was on the wheel like last year in 2022. I skipped it because I wasn't feeling it. So it's Beatitudes by Little House Needleworks. And I thought to myself when this came up, do I take Lady of the Flag off of the frame and put it on the frame, or what do I do? I put it on my Q-snap and it was fine. There's lots of extra fabric because it's a pretty big piece, but it worked out. Okay, so I'm stitching this on 28 count Monaco that I coffee tea-dyed. This is what happens when you coffee tea-dye, people. One side is going to be really dark, and then the other side is lighter. So if I had like a Halloween piece and I wanted to grunge it up, then it would have been perfect on the back side. But this light side is perfect for this piece. Okay, so what did I do here? I worked a lot on the house because I knew I was going to be able to get some solid stitches there. And then I worked on the grass to bring the grass across, which I do not think I'm all the way, but what I wanted to do was use up the skein that I was already using for the grass, because if I run out, I'm not sure if the other skein is just the same or not. It looks the same. I bought them at the same time. But I do believe that even though the pattern calls for, I think she stitches this on 32 count. Yes. So I'm using 28 count. So the consumption of floss is a little bit more. So I'm going to have to go back and get some more Weeping Willow, but I figure that I can use that for this up here, these vines. And then if I can get as much done down here as I can with what I have left of my original purchase, then I can use my second purchase up here, and it's not going to matter that much if it's a different dye lot. You know what I mean? If it's slightly different. So let's see. I started putting in this this plant here. I had that in twice already, and I had to rip it out because I kept putting it in the wrong spot. So I put all of the foliage is done. Now I have to put in a flower. Yes, I did the house, and then I did a little bit of the words to bring the words across as well. By the time I did that, my 500 stitches were done, and I continued on. So that's that. Beatitudes by Little House Needleworks. If it wasn't so large, that's the problem with some of my pieces, that they're so large, I can't really work on them all the time because I really do need them to be in a frame or a Q-snap or something. Otherwise, I would keep it out and work on it more often. So I say. Okay, this one has a little bit of a backstory to it. There are two groups that I'm in on Facebook that are like Adopt a Whip, or Please Take My Whip, I think is called. But there's two groups, and and I think in both groups, they do the lottery system. So you say, everyone that comments, me please, or I want this, or whatever, until this date and time, will go in a lottery to win the item. And usually you get the item for free. Sometimes you might have to pay the shipping, which is only fair considering you're getting whatever they're offering. So this is Into the Jungle by Frosted Pumpkin. The Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, I think it's called, actually. And this person sent it when it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 9 full blocks, and then 2 other blocks started. And there are 12 animal blocks, and then a top header and a bottom header. So it's really cute. This is 32 count. I believe it's 32 count slate by Picture This Plus. It's Lugana, and she did all of the animals. What I did in my 500 stitches is come and start doing the borders on the blocks. So I got 3 full borders and then a partial border on the iguana, and it is really cute. And this is not for me though. The reason why I chose this one, and I told her, and she loved the idea. Like I won, and then we were communicating Facebook because she needed my address. Is there are a lot of young families and a lot of new families, new as in having their first children, at my church. So I thought this would be cute for a little nursery. So what I'm going to do is try to stitch it up quick and then frame it and offer it up as a freebie for the families at church. So first one for, first come, first serve. I'm just going to put it in the back and say this is free as a gift. Enjoy. And then whatever happens, happens. And that's that. So she did send me, she sent me the fabric and what has been stitched already and the pattern. And then I just had to gather up my DMC. And I think I have all of the colors that are needed for that pattern. If not, I have to buy one or something. It's not going to be that much. But, I mean, I have so many in there. Okay, another one that came up is Jurassic Park. I do believe that Jurassic Park wants to be finished. So I put in another 500 stitches here. And let me get rid of my floss. I am almost out of floss, but I did find another skein of black somewhere. So, okay, so this time what I focused on was filling in the black. So I did a little bit down here around the letters and then mostly in the dinosaur's back. I just kept bringing it up. And it didn't take that long at all. Just stitch, stitch, stitch. Another 500 stitches in here. That brings me up to, I believe, 76.8%. So I am 3/4 of the way done with this one. She's almost done. So here's what I have left for black. Just a couple of strands. Like I said, I did all the gray. And I don't know if I didn't show you because I threw it away. I had maybe this much of the gray left on like one strand. That was it. I had borrowed 2 strands to do the Happy Penguin back a couple months ago. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to kick me in the butt. I'm going to pay for it. But no, I was able to finish it. But yeah, I think I don't have it in here. But I thought that I found another black skein of floss from somewhere. But I must have put it in the wrong project bag. Okay, Bittersweet Trio came up again since the last time I filmed a video. I have no idea what I worked. Oh, I put in flowers. Okay. All right. So I finished the borders. So the borders are all complete. And I started putting in the flowers. And that got me 500 stitches. So I'll take that. I think this one has been called 3 times now in May. And it got about 1,500 stitches. So it's a lot farther than what it was when I started. I wonder where I put that black skein of floss. I'm going to have to search all my project bags from the last couple of weeks to see what I did with it. Okay, the last project that I have to talk to you about is the Winter Tranquility. It came up again for another 500 stitches. And this is on Bittersweet Trio by Waxy Moon Designs is on Dove Gray Monaco that I coffee tea dyed. And this is on just a blue Aida that I had in my stash. So this time around, I focused on this side of the house. I may have finished a little bit here. I can't remember, but I focused on this side. It's in 321. This side of the house is in 498. So that way it gives the illusion of a shadow. And so, yeah, 500 stitches over here. And it's on its way. I can't remember what percentage I'm at on this one. I can't remember if I even looked, but it is getting there. Because really the bulk of the stitching was the snow on the bottom. And now I'm almost halfway done with the house. So the next time that this comes up, I should be able to finish the house. Should be able to finish the house. Okay, so today is Monday. It's Memorial Day, so I can't remember. Is it the 30th? I have no idea what the date is. But it is Memorial Day today. It's in the morning. I have some chores that I have to get done, and we might go for a walk because I desperately need to get walking. But I have 2 more days, and I have a feeling that I'm going to want to continue this wheel thing with the 500 stitches for a little bit longer anyway. I might get sick of it by mid-June, but I want to continue it as long as I can because I think it's fun, and I think you all are enjoying it. And you never know what's going to come up. Excuse me. On Friday morning, I did spin the wheel a couple of times because I was searching for a project that I could take to work. Beatitudes came up. Heart Silhouette came up. Those are just too big for me to take to work and try to do 15 minutes while I'm sitting on my lunch. So I set those aside. Then Starry Night came up, which again, using the Kreinik cord, I did not want to try to struggle with that while I was at work. It's one thing struggling at home, but struggling where you might have witnesses that are like, well, what are you doing? Yeah, I didn't want to do that. So I spun, and that's how I ended up getting the Mario map, and Alice in Wonderland came up as well. So I have those three. I have Starry Night, Heart Silhouette, and Alice in Wonderland to work on before I move on. On the first is, what's the first? Oh, Whip Go. So I have my 2 projects of Whip Go. So I'm going to try to get these 3 that I just named done. So that way, when it's Whip Go time, I can do Whip Go and then just start over with the wheel and see what happens. Starry Night should be a finish. I did not bring it up here, but I only have 1.5, not even a 1.5. I have a little bit of the Kreinik to put in on the one ornament. I ran out just toward the end. I have a big star, like the Star of David. I have that big star, and then I think I have the headpiece for the wise men that's on that one. And then the angel, I have the entire angel, and then I have a little bit of more backstitching, and then I'm finished. So it's not a lot, but the 500 stitches could get me there, and I might just continue on until I finish it, because that'll be 2 ornaments, and the entire booklet will be finished at that point. So I think that's all for me. Thank you to everyone that stopped by last week, whether you're a returning viewer or subscriber, or you just checked me out for the first time. I appreciate you checking me out and hanging out with me for a little while. Hopefully this video uploads a lot easier than last time. I had a lot of conversation in the last video that I had to cut out. I cut out 16 minutes of conversation because I was having tech trouble. So hopefully this goes a lot smoother than last time. Okay, so that's all I have to share this week. I have no updates about the retreat. I'm going to get going so I can get some stitching done and get a walk and chores in. And I hope that you have found something to inspire you, or maybe you want to change up how you're doing your crafts, no matter what they are. If you want to use a wheel or like a Whip Go board or something like that. And until next Sunday, I hope you get a lot of crafting in. Bye.